Hey guys, this is Fan Fantasy here, and this time we're going to be playing Armor Brigade 2, which is now available on Steam. I have done 2 videos on it, which you can check out if you're interested. And this time we're going to be playing as the group of Soviet forces in Germany, and we're going to be playing against a well-trained US combat team. And our mission is to capture and to clear out the town of Mar, which is directly to our west. In terms of our strength, we have 2 companies of T-80Bs, 3 platoons each, and we also have 2 companies of BMP-2s with mechanized infantry. We also do have supporting elements like anti-air and some BMP-2 scouts. In terms of the enemy strength, we can expect a combat team of 2 platoons of M1IP Abrams, M2 Bradleys, and their mechanized infantry, as well as ATGM teams. In terms of our plan, we're going to be dividing our forces into 2 companies. Red Company, which consists of 1 company of tanks and BMPs, will move directly west. The tanks will set up their battle position near the phase line. Yellow Company will also do likewise by setting up their BP near the phase line. Once we clear out any disruption elements, Red Company's mechanized infantry will move in and assault the town, while Yellow Company will also be flanking around directly to the north, the tanks leading and followed by the mechanized infantry. Yellow Company's objective is to secure the flank while applying pressure on the enemy so that Red Company can continue their objective. And so with that, we're going to try to execute a Soviet-style attack in Armor Brigade 2. And I hope you guys enjoy this, as I'm going to try to make this a little bit more cinematic while explaining along the way. And if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, as it will mean a lot, and do enjoy. Alright, so let's get started, and let's liberate West Germany from capitalism. And now our company is moving up, making the way towards the first battle positions. Company Yellow is now engaging tank units on the tree line, just directly ahead. Massive volley of fire going on right now. And 1 destroyed. Possible tank. And nice, another target destroyed, but we did lose 1 T-80B. But that shouldn't stop our advance. Fortunately, we did lose one of our scout BMPs. I'm guessing it's likely somewhere from the town. And looks like a track vehicle was destroyed along the river. One of our platoons from Red Company is taking fire, but I'm not too sure from which direction. We're going to assume somewhere from the town, but we're going to keep advancing. But as you can see, Company Yellow is moving along the route, taking small arms fire, probably from the town objective area. What we're also going to do now is prepare fire missions. We'll call in HE along the area. About 8 volt to 10 that target around this area here, and 2 minutes out. Alright, looks like we have unidentified tracked vehicles near the objective, but our tanks are engaging it right now. And target destroyed. Again, we don't know what this is. Could be the Bradleys or the Abrams. And taking a look at Yellow Company, it looks like they're taking fire, and we did lose 1 of the tanks. And it seems like most of the enemies are located in the town, which our tanks are firing at. Looks like another vehicle is destroyed in the town. Possible APCs. And taking a look at Red Company, they're just forming up and setting up their battle position. All right, so now our artillery is landing on the objective area. And we'll let the artillery do its work in softening up the objective. So now that the tanks have reached their battle position, this commences our next phase of our operation, which is the assaulting phase. And so we're going to move the BMPs from Red Company to move in to assault the town. Yellow Company is going to hold until they're ready. It looks like they're trying to hit us with indirect, but it doesn't matter because it's all in vain since our forces are now going to be moving up to assault the objective. Alright, so I'm going to call in a smoke mission around this barn area here, 2 minutes out. And we do have an enemy chopper. Looks like the Cobra is coming out. It looks like that Cobra is suppressed and falling back now. And as you can see, our forces are doing a really good job in suppressing the area, making sure that the enemy is suppressed and covering our forces as they're moving towards the town. So while our BMPs have reached the town limits, Company Yellow is going to continue moving on to flank pressure on the enemy. And so I'm going to order them to advance to the next waypoint, while the mech infantry behind will also follow. And it looks like that was a destroyed M1IP. And splash out on our smokes. Currently, our BMPs are conducting a bounding movement into town, and it looks like they're trying to cover each other as they're moving. And I'm also going to be deploying my infantry from the BMPs. Alright, we're picking up more forces close to the objective vicinity, and those are M2 Bradleys identified. Wouldn't be a problem for our TADBs to take out. And target destroyed. Ooh, and looks like one of our tanks got hit. Possible ATGM team. Can't identify what they are, where they are. Hope our tanks remain cautious. So I hit one of our tanks, but he seemed to shrugged it off. Looks like it was a good call in that smoke. We did destroy one of the APCs there. And again, we probably expect mechanized infantry to be in this factory area. We did lose one of our TADBs in the objective. Let's hope our mechanized platoon can move in quickly. And there are pockets of resistance in the town, which our forces are now fighting through. So it might take a while for our infantry to get into the objective area. But yeah, you know, urban warfare is not an easy task to do, but let's hope our forces can fight through this. And the good news is that we have our Mi-24s to support us in our attack, and they made it just right on time. Alright, something I'm concerned about is that Yellow Company's mech infantry element is lagging behind, which is making our tank company over-penetrating the assault. We do need to watch out for that in case they do get into contact with infantry. And so we're going to keep an eye on that. Awesome, looks like our Mi-24 is engaging ground targets in town. And more to the north right now. Alright, I want to get these guys to just fall back slightly. because they're not going to have a lot of cover once that smoke is gone. So to be a little bit more on the cautious side, I'm just going to smoke the area here in the trees, provide our troops cover as they move towards the objective. But let's take a look at the mechanized infantry and how they're doing. And we have a civilian in town, and you can imagine what's going on in his mind right now, seeing Soviet troops invading his little town. But just imagine if you're that guy. So while our BMPs are up ahead, I'm gonna move our tank company all the way up to bypass objective 1, so that once we secure it, we can counter any counterattack from the enemy. As expected, there's still more infantry in the factory, and now our BMPs are engaging it. And we're also going to call in more smoke on that area. Alright, so there's still some ground targets in the town, which our helicopters are now engaging, or were engaging. Alright, so our mechanized platoons are closing into the objective, and there are small arms resistance inside the buildings. Shouldn't be a problem for our BMPs. So Red Company's mech infantry is currently bogged down inside town, but we don't have to worry about that since Yellow Company has caught up, and we're gonna get them to deploy their infantry from the BMPs to assault the objective. And taking a look at Red Company, they're slowly making their way through. It seems like the remnants of the US Army aren't surrendering, so they're gonna have to fight till the end. And yeah, the fighting here seems very intense, as you can hear. We have captured the objective, and now we're just going to hold on until enemy reinforcements to come up. We have secured the objective. So what I'm going to do now is set up our infantry into the building so that they can defend. Get this guy up here, and we'll get one of them in these buildings as well too. All right, now that we've secured objective 1, I'm going to move our tank company up and clear out any enemy reinforcements or potential enemy positions just directly to the west, and we'll get them to move out time now. Essentially what we're going to do is going to spoil their counterattack if they do end up coming from the west. Looks like potential NATO units are to the north, looks like. Alright, we're going to reorient our tank companies up. Looks like we're taking some losses. I'm just going to move Red Company's tank to reorient north and delete the waypoints. Looks like we're taking additional losses with our tanks. We just lost 2 of them, mostly in one of the platoons from Red Company. This isn't looking good as their counterattack is very effective. Looks like a good hit from one of our TADBs, and he'll be getting a medal after this if he lives. Alright, looks like they are making their final push. And just in case, I'm going to call in our close air support in case if things get even more south from this point on. But I'm going to call it in even though it might take some time. Lots of missiles going directly to that tank platoon. missile incoming. And target, but no damage. Looks like one of them is immobilized. And target destroyed, and that ends this battle. Battle has reached its conclusion. Alright, so looks like we lost about 21 half of our vehicles from that counterattack, and they lost pretty much most of their vehicles, but that was a total victory by us. Yeah, but that was insane. That counterattack wiped up a lot of our platoons. From eye count wise, it looks like we only have one platoon each from the company, so they pretty much wiped up 4 platoons in total. However, our mech platoons or companies were in good positions, so they didn't have too many losses. All right, so at the end, we accomplished our plan, which was a 2-prong assault, one towards the town with Red Company and Yellow Company flanking around to secure the flanks. Once we identified the enemies, we did use smoke to cover our assault. The town did prove a bit of resistance, but it wasn't a problem with our mechanized infantry. I gotta say, the enemy did use its artillery pretty well. It did disrupted a little bit of our units here and there, but other than that, yeah, they tried to fight us and to delay us. And yeah, that's what I really enjoy about Armor Brigade 2, is just how much of it is a sandbox that you can do. And again, check out Armor Brigade 2. Make sure to hit that like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to stay up to date, and as always, I'll see you guys in my next video.